Welcome back, everybody, to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 20, coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Cleveland Browns. And unfortunately, last week we had a breakout challenge for Deshaun Hand, and he did not complete it. The first breakout challenge in this series that we have failed. And this week, our Lions are playing the Washington Redskins, featuring premier cornerback Richard Sherman, who is one of the best in the business. And the goal is to win, and we're playing the Redskins, so that's very possible. Also, our Lions are making an extension, 3 years, $8.37 million for Tracy Walker, and that's an extremely team-friendly contract for the Lions. Walker was named the best defensive back in the NFC last year, and he's taking not even $3 million a season, which I don't get, but I guess he's just trying to help the team out, which is nice, but, he could be making an extra $20 million over these next 3 seasons, so while he's helping out the team, I'm confused why he didn't take a little bit more cash, but I'm sure the Lions aren't complaining that they got an extremely team-friendly contract there for Mr. Tracy Walker. The Lions have some very exciting news. JUJU Smith-Schuster is finally going to be on the field. Last season, Smith-Schuster tore his Achilles with the Steelers. Pittsburgh let him go in free agency, and the Lions signed him knowing that they would not get his services for the first half of this season, and also knowing that he might not be the same player. But he's fully healthy from his Achilles injury. The Lions could have had the opportunity to rush him in earlier and give him playing time a few weeks ago, but credit to the medical staff and credit to the team for just waiting, taking their time, and just making sure he was fully healthy to get in there. Last year, he played 15 games before getting hurt, and after a phenomenal sophomore season, he's been kind of quiet the past 2 with Antonio Brown not in Pittsburgh. But nonetheless, the Lions did pay him a massive contract worth in the $69 million ballpark. Giggity. And that's a massive risk by the Lions, but they know this kid has the talent, and he'll try to put that on display. Only 1 Pro Bowl appearance through 4 seasons. We'll likely only be saying 1 through 5 seasons, since he won't have much of an opportunity to make it this season as well. So what does this mean exactly for the rest of the Lions receiving corps? Well, Kenny Golladay is fine. Freddie Bonner-Sanders is fine. But what about Dwayne Stuber, the undrafted rookie who came in out of nowhere and shocked the world? He was signed to this team as a 66 overall normal development player. Now he's 71 overall with superstar development after completing 2 breakout challenges, and he's played really well for this team. He was just supposed to be a guy who'd be in there and make a couple routine catches, but he turned into a premier target for Tez Lawson, and I'm sure the Lions would love to build around him, but in a crowded receiving corps, it might be challenging. So we'll have to see how JUJU plays, we'll have to see how Bonner-Sanders progresses, and see if Kenny Golladay can continue to be one of the best receivers in football. The Lions got some more good news when it comes to the injury end, as Akeem Downing, the right tackle, is back, and thank goodness. Last week, against the Browns, Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks on Marshall King. This team definitely missed Akeem Downing's presence on the offensive line, and he will definitely be welcome back. Downing, the former first-round pick, has played well so far in his young career. He did allow a few too many sacks last year, but I feel like that 17 is a little bit misleading. And I think he was really solid last year, and this season he continued to progress before missing a few weeks. And the Lions only have 1 injury, and that's linebacker Jelani Tavai, who should return next week with his broken ribs. So that means, assuming the Lions don't have any injuries today, which is a huge if, that'll mean that this team is fully healthy for the first time this season, and this team has played really well even with their injuries. So the 5-3 Lions coming off a heartbreaking loss on Sunday Night Football against the 2-time defending champion Cleveland Browns, as the Lions will return home to face off against Dwayne Haskins and the 4-4 Washington Redskins. Shout out to my good friend Franchise Gaming, who has a Washington Redskins franchise on his channel. I'll leave his link in the description if you want to go sub to him. So 3rd and 6, opening possession of the game. Tez Lawson sailing one deep for JUJU. Welcome to Detroit. Well, that's not the start the Lions hoped for. Excellent route from JUJU, but Landon Collins swoops in and gets the INT. That's only the 3rd interception that Tez has thrown all season. The first one he's thrown since week 4. And the Lions defense immediately gets busy as there's Darius Geis losing 2. Jared Davis and friends there with the tackle. So that'll lead to a 2nd and 12 for Dwayne Haskins, the 3rd-year quarterback out of Ohio State. as this Lions defense is just zigzagging in there. Eventually, Shaquem Griffin and Trey Flowers would each get half a sack. So, after a Redskin punt and then a Lion punt, Washington gets it back as there's Jared Davis going downstairs where Daddy hides for vodka. The first of 2 sacks on the day for Davis. So Detroit has it back. First down, here's Lawson scrambling like he's late on a date, and he connects with the new kid on the block, the $69 million man, JUJU Smith-Schuster, for the first down. JUJU's first catch as a Lion. And then second down from the 29, Lawson connecting with TJ Hawkinson, breaking a tackle, getting into the red zone, and he would get hurt as he's being brought down by Montez Sweat. Luckily for Detroit, TJ's injury was not serious, and he would return to the game shortly after. So then the following play, here's Tez Lawson showing that he's not a one-trick pony. He can run as he scrambles for the touchdown, showing off the dance moves, his 3rd rushing touchdown of his rookie campaign. The Lions are the first ones to score. So here returns for Washington offense. Dwayne Haskins connecting with Marvin Jones, the former Lion. Jones got a well-deserved ovation before the game, as Jones has been a very solid receiver for this team the past few seasons before leaving in free agency for the Skins. But that doesn't lead to much, as on 3rd down, Jared Davis almost picks off Haskins, and Davis has some choicy words for Paul Richardson. So then 3rd and inches, there's Lawson getting sacked by Jonathan Allen, the former Alabama defensive lineman, and the Skins would get the football back, as Dwayne Haskins in this offense hasn't been able to do much. That narrative will continue, as on 3rd down, he is sacked once again by Jared Davis, and the Lions would get the football back. Still 7-0. Not a lot of offense in this one, as Lawson would be sacked on 1st down by Darquell Hyder. You may recognize that name because the Lions were highly considering drafting him in the 1st round a few years ago. Obviously, they picked Akeem Downing over him, and both Hyder and Downing have played very well in their young careers, so while the Lions don't regret their decision of picking Mr. Downing, Darquell Hyder would have been a fun selection too, as here's TJ Hawkinson bringing it to the 5, and then 3rd and goal, as Tez Lawson trying to get it to Dwayne Stuber. However, pass interference on the defense, that's on Jason Verrett, who surprisingly has not torn a hamstring yet. And then 1st and goal for 1, Kerryon Johnson waltzing into the end zone. He tried to hand the defender the football too, which is hilarious. Knowing this leak, he'll receive a fine close to about $30,000. Anyway, here returns the Lions. Tez Lawson late in the 1st half is sacked by the former Mississippi State Bulldog, Montez Sweat. And then from the 19, wash, rinse, repeat. This time it's Darquell Hyder who brings him down. And now on to the 2nd half. Redskins offense is still scoreless, and they're going to try to change that as Marvin Jones with the play, bringing it to the 15. 6 catches for a $105 in this one. Very productive day from Jones, who's been the Redskins' best receiver. And then 1st and goal, an incredible catch from Jordan Reed. Pass interference on the defense, but I'm sort of confused because it looked like Jordan Reed dropped it at the end, but they're going to call that a touchdown. And if you look at it, he has possession, and it won't show after that, but you can tell the ball is sort of popping out. So I questioned that call, but I guess I would have been 1st and goal for 1 anyway, but still. I don't get what that is from the referees. 3rd and 6, awful throw from Tez. I don't know what he's doing, it throwing off his back foot. Somehow it's tipped and caught by JUJU Smith-Schuster. And then 3rd and 5, here's Lawson backing up. Lawson taking his time, and he connects once again. Almost connects. As the ball is broken up, Washington would get it back as a lucky throw from Haskins. Marvin Jones swoops in at the nick of time. That ball could have been picked off, but instead Marvin Jones gets the 1st down. And then the very following play from the 48, Haskins gets it back to Marvin Jones, who brings it to the 26 before being pushed out by Tracy Walker, the $8 million man. Now into the 4th and 3, Washington says they might as well go for it. They would end up getting the 1st down as Darius Geis would end up getting it. And then 3rd and 1, Redskins trying to tie up the game, and they wouldn't be too successful in doing that. You can't spell intercepted without the D. Quandrake Diggs picks it off, his 3rd of the season, being tracked down by Richardson, but not before getting a huge turnover inside the 5-yard line. And wow, the Lions with a big play and they would get it back. 2nd and inches. Here's Lawson up the middle, just a little. Getting it to Freddie Biner Sanders, the second-year man out of Texas. Hook 'em horns, and he'd bring it to the 20. Then 3rd and 9 from the 19. Here's Tez. He is going to once again stay calm and composed in the pocket, getting it back to Juju Smith-Schuster, who brings it to the 3. As the Lions are getting closer and closer to the end zone, would they punch it in? That answer is no. As right when the Redskins turn it over in the red zone, the Lions do the exact same thing. Sean Dion Hamilton picks it off. One of, like, the 9 starters on this defense from Alabama. I mean, you got Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Darquell Hyder, Landon Collins, Reuben Foster. There's so many. And speaking of colleges, that's what Colorado Buffalo, Chidobe Awuzie, immediately picking off Dwayne Haskins, the first play of that drive, and now it's just a trade-off of interceptions. 2nd down, there's Rodney McLeod Jr., the safety, with the sack. So that'll lead to a 3rd and 20. Lawson trying to get a big play, and he will sail it up for Kenny Golladay. He's had a pretty quiet game in this one, with JUJU being the main point of the offense. And then 4th and 7, Matt Money Prater buries a big field goal to make it a 2-score lead for Detroit. And now Washington ain't looking too hot. 3rd and 1, Darius Geis going backwards, courteous of Shaquem Griffin. One hand, don't care. Griffin continuing his superb season, where he's been one of the best defensive players in the league. 4th and 4, Washington going to go for it as the pass is broken up by Darius Big Play Slay. And the Lions would get the piggy back. The piggy referring as the football. 3rd and 3 now for Detroit, as the Lions are just trying to put the nail in the coffin, put the ice in the dagger, and that's what would happen as TJ feel the hawk and beat the meat. TJ Hawkinson with the touchdown, all 7 inches of that long Hawkinson. So now 24-7. Redskins aren't looking too good. Case Keenum in the game at quarterback because Dwayne Haskins broke his collarbone right here at the end of the game, and he's supposed to miss time. So pretty bad way to end this one for the Skins as the Lions win it. Final score 21-7.
Hey, man!